Right. So there was a time that I tripped on LSD and ketamine, and the unfortunate thing is that LSD, you almost never know what you're gonna get because there's so many different types. But when you get LSD, it is LSD. It is the most brilliant ecstasy. Just it feels like 1970s music liquefied and poured through your body and just flowing out, into the ground. Um, it's magnificent. It's literal heaven. You know, it feels like you're in heaven, and because the hallucinations, you can think anything into existence. You can, just stuff is coming alive. It's ridiculous. Um, so I ate this LSD, and I thought I was just chilling. I was like, it was on a whim. It was kind of one of those things where I was feeling like, sure, you know, the stars are aligning. I just got this. I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna eat some. Yeah, you know. Um, when it calls, it calls. Is the thing. Um, so I kick back in my bed, and nothing's really going on, and I got a bit of ketamine laying around, and I'm kind of just um, getting ready to like watch you know cool stuff on the internet, and I was really like wanting to hallucinate. When you mix a dissociative and a psychedelic, like the hallucinations, like like they become real. It's like dreaming awake. It's really nuts, but like you you don't want to do too much, man. So and I lost track of my dosing. I got a little too. I got overconfident because I'm experienced stripper. I've done it once. Um, so what had happened was as I was laying out, over an hour had passed, and I was like, man, fucking shit ain't kicking in. Like, I guess this ain't no thing. It's like, wow, fucking. I guess I'll blow a Lizzie to get this started, and then it starts to set in, and I happen across this video called Florida Man by I think Very Ape is the YouTube channel, and it was just brilliant. It was just beautiful. It's wholly captured what it was to be a Florida man, and it was very psychedelic, very great watch when you're on LSD. You know, um, like, and I remember like getting most of the way through there, and then fucking this part comes on where it's a heavy guy and his wife. They're in like a trailer park or something. He's like, only thing tomorrow I have to do is I gotta put a new flag, new American flag out on the dock because the old one's getting tattered. God bless America. He says that shit. And it was just so genuine, so real. It had me laughing hysterically, because LSD makes you laugh. And, I get my sister and her boyfriend at the time, and have them watch the scene, and I'm just laughing. And a bit later, I go out there and I break down. I was like, holy shit! Like, I actually found some real LSD. Because it's always a treat. Because, eating those freaking roll of dice, you get some fucking weirdo drug and it feels like shit. And you're like, for 12 hours. This stuff what was amazing. It was only about a fucking 8-hour trip. And it was like, and when it was done, it was done. That was an astonishing part. But, so I'm laying in the bed after all that. Telling my sister and her boy about it, and I start having this God trip. You know, I got Sublime playing on the big screen, and it's just the cover of the self-titled album with the tattoo and the flowers and everything, and you know, I'm getting this impression of like that like this is the beginning of an eternal soul. Like this is my like that's how I can like, or this is just how I start. Is that like I'm a mathematical fucking amalgamation that culminates to this point. And you know, I was feeling really good about it. That it was kind of like each of the letters of on his back were like had to do with like these different angels and stuff, and it like it was like getting across that I'm just like a mathematical being, and I just kind of lucked out that I don't have a propensity for like a lust for living in hellish states, and that some people like some souls are born and like they're born to live and behave hellishly like dickheads, and it's just the way they see reality and the way that they cope with eternity, and they're just gonna throw a fit because of it, and that there ain't nothing you can do about it. And it was just really kind of driving the home. It was like, dog, you just nice because of the math, but you kind of fucking lucky because that's how you are all the time forever. And, and I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, I'm fucking lucky. you know? Like some of these motherfuckers, they want to cheat all the time and fuck slash snacks and all that. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to deal with that. Um, you know, And everything seemed cool. So what happened was I got up like after screaming, "What? What?" Because I was looking up at the ceiling, and it was just forming all of these like swirling patterns that would like drip down into these like stalactites, but they were three-dimensional. And then like I kicked back and I closed my eyes. At some point I hit another line of K, and I was flying through these like what seemed like Egyptian temples, and but I was doing a fly through these enormous. It was like a super mall, it was just, you know, and but it had all this Arabic style writing like on the walls, and I don't know. I got the impression there were people in this temple, but it was showing me just the most brilliant imagery. You know, as something apparently relative to my soul or my equation that makes me up, whatever that is. And you know, I was really deep in it and having a good time, and I was just, what, 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 what? Because like, you know, it was tripping like they do in the movies when you like see just ridiculous shit, like stuff that you don't believe that you would normally see. Like because like normally it's just kind of like some patterning and it's tame. This was like you know uh, and uh and the music would like slow down because it like increases the refresh rate of your brain a little bit, so like you're like seeing extra seconds, extra parts of the second, and so it's like, which is ridiculous, and I don't know, hardware always stops working well, um, when it comes to LSD or dissociatives and stuff. So I get up, um, or well, no, I'm thinking, what am I thinking? Okay, no, yeah, I put Age of Ultron on, and I'm starting to have this God trip, and it's like, you know, you're a God. You could just think things into existence because I'm literally thinking things into existence. Like, I think of a bird, and it would be like, and then fucking flit around the room and stuff. And I'm, anything that occurs to me, it's just bling, it's blinking into existence. And it's hitting the scene in Ultron where everyone's taking a chance at grabbing Thor's hammer, and I'm like reaching for it, like at the screen, like just thinking like if I'm God, I could just you know manifest it. And it felt like these were they were entities like from another dimension, like other angels or whatever, like all talking trash, um, and no one could pick up the hammer, and it was uh, it was a little confounding, because it's like there's something about psychedelic experience where it tempts you to flex your full ability, but it's almost like there's so much conditioning that that's not the case, or something that you just can't do it. I don't know. I mean, all the Wookiee festivals across the land, nobody's ever snapped and gone full god power and, like, torn a festival asunder, or manifested anything like they're on the spot or all that shit. So, I mean, apparently it's not really a thing, but it feels like it. It feels like it. And, so, I don't know, I'm kind of in this little, like, bout with these angels, talking shit about sidestepping the collective process of the, the materialization of God, that we're stuck in, and then just being able to fucking think and manifest at will. And, so something's not connecting. And so I get up and, go to the sink. And I turn on the sink. And it's weird. This is when I've done another line of K. And the, the two drugs have a different, like, frequency, and it's causing a dissonance, and so my entire world is not syncing up anymore. And in my mind, it feels like this is the time in which I'm supposed to step into being fully God all the time, and I'm stepping into the God realm of just being able to manifest and think at will. But but I but for some reason my mind doesn't fully accept the paradigm, and so now there's a dissonance. There's a dissonant frequency, like, that is conflicting with my perception of the collective dream that we're all embedded within, you know um and and I'm like, wait, what? Why aren't things working right? This isn't right. So I walk into the sink in the kitchen, and I turn the sink on, and the water is running up. And I look outside, and the rain is falling up, and I'm like, fuck. Wait, no. No, And then, like, I'm looking around, and, like, it's it looks like if like almost like an image tearing, like, when you're watching TV, and like, you know like like a guy, like, it'd be like, the image tear. You have to be familiar with vernacular, but what am I gonna do? And but it was just, and so there's like one more of this, of that item in between, but they're like fused, and somehow they're all still working together, but it's there. And but everything's like that. And I'm sitting there, and I'm trying to mix a cup of kratom, because it's been, 4 hours or whatever. And and as I'm, like, stirring it, like, the cup, it's like widening, and trying to split into two cups. Like, and and it's not mixing in, and it's like frothing and bubbling. It's driving me nuts. Um, Somehow I get that down, and and I go and lay back in my bed, and I'm starting to bug out. I'm like, man, I'm not, like, the movies, like, talking trash to me, and I'm upset, uncomfortable, and that's like when like the world starts to break apart. And I don't know how to describe it, but I suddenly thought I was dying. I was in my bed, and I thought I was dying, and that I want to say that this room kind of like broke apart at the seams and started to like spread out. And I was like, no, 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 no. And I like sucked it back together like through intention of like, no, I'm still one. No, I'm still one. I'm still one. And and I was like, shit, dude. Wait. I'm fucking dying. And I thought that I was astral projecting my mind into my family's dreams. So I opened the door, and I can't get the light on, and I'm waking my sister up and my nephew, and I'm like, wait, dude, I'm dying, I'm dying, I'm in my bed right now. You have to come and wake me up. Come and wake me up. You know, come and wake me up. Like I mean, just you take care of me. I'm dying. I'm dying. You know, and I was sure that I was just astral projecting into their dream, and that I wasn't actually getting up and like trying to wake them up. And my sister's like, "No, I gotta work in the morning. Like, leave me alone." And I was like, "No, dude, you gotta stay awake. You gotta stay with me. You gotta stay with me, dude. If like, for some reason I'm defragment or dematerializing. Like I can't stay on one wavelength. Um, and if y'all don't keep remembering me and keep me coherent, I'm going to fractal apart." And she's like, "Oh man," and like, and I'm holding her arms, and if I stop talking to her, like she starts fading into the blackness because it's all black in her room, and like she's like literally my perception of her is just like she's drifting, even though she's in my arms, and I'm like, no, wait, no, you gotta remember me, you gotta talk, you gotta remember me, like, and then it would like, and I could feel like I could feel all of reality like disassembling, and you know, and um, and then I was like, no, I need more people to remember me. My sister's not gonna do it. Um, so I go and I wake my mom up. I'm like, "Mom, you know, I fucking need your help. I need your help. Y'all gotta remember me. I'm gonna die. I'm dying. I'm in my bed right now. Y'all have to come and wake me up. You gotta keep me alive. You gotta think of me to keep me existing." Um, and she does wake up, and she's like, "Man, what the fuck?" You know, but like, all right. And so she wakes up, and everything settles down, and like we turn a bunch of lights on. We're like, and like it's like, you know, but the world, everything looks like that artifacting tear. Like it just like looks like it's been apart. Like my mom has an extra eye, you know. My sister just is all disproportionate. My nephew's like really confused, and I think that I've made a error in reality, and like she's like, it's a long story, but basically like, shoot, man, it's hard to explain briefly like the concept of like this idea that I have for like what a soul is, because there's like this nucleus and the satellite's the mind screen, and we're all like these little atoms in a giant like black hole, and we our vibrations all are emitting particular frequencies, and we attract to people that are you know, like tuned to that are fucking with the same frequency, and basically it's their same taste and how they like to live their lives together. And there's just so much more to it. It's very complicated. Um, but I feel like because I put the two drugs together in too high of a frequency, it made a dissonant like frequency error somewhere in the nucleus of my soul, and now I'm vibrating off frequency from the rest of the collective dream, and I can't sync properly to the dream, and it feels like it's a permanent error, and so it's like, uh, and so now I have this defunct um, interpretation of reality that I can't like debug or something, and that it's not gonna sync up, and eventually like, water's gonna stop flowing, food's gonna stop being edible, and in fact like everything outside of the house basically isn't even accessible anymore. It's just abyss, and like it's kind of like that episode of Rick and Morty when they break time, and they're just like on floating on a chunk of rock, and there's like Schrodinger's cats out in the air and everything. That's the image in my mind that I've done to myself, and that it's I'm basically I erred myself into hell, into a type of hell in which like I have to wait for the entropy of my particles to dematerialize in order for my soul to reset. And so for the next several trillion years, I am stuck these with my family who I accidentally brought into hell with me, and and in my house that doesn't work with bad reception to the internet, that doesn't give like good signal. And it was crazy because I was in the front room, and I think my mom turned the TV on or something. The TV was on, but the TV was frozen on some like garbled ad, and my cell phone I couldn't, dude. It was just did not work. Couldn't function. I couldn't get it to do anything. It was all blown up. Like all the text and stuff was like super large, but then small, and it was completely. It just did not work. It was done for. Um, so let me see. And there was really nothing that I could do about it. I had fucked myself permanently, and that was my sentiment. I was like, "Fuck! I can't believe this. I fucking after all that build up, I'm in hell. I freaking killed myself by accident, mixing drugs that don't kill you if you mix them. Like I was so mad. I was like, Mom, do you got a gun? Maybe if I fucking kill myself like this, it'll reset it. And she's obviously like, no. And I'm like, oh man. Which, like, in hindsight, that was like a bad default, you know, thing to go to. But, freaking A, man. So, all I can do is, like, go to God. I'm like, fuck it. I guess I'm gonna pray to God, see if he can fucking work this out. Because this is bullshit. I didn't know you could fucking put an error in your soul, um, and glitch your broadcast to the main collective dream or anything. I think it's bullshit. There should be a manual. Like, you can't damn me like this on some bullshit. So I go out in the yard, my underwear. It's raining. It's raining. That's the funniest thing. And it's lightning and stuff. Oh, it was crazy. And I'm out in the yard, and I'm just praying to God on my knees, like, dude, I don't know what the hell I did. I've been trying to live the most pious life I can. I'm like, I'm being a good dude, like, living with love for all people, but whatever I was doing my bad. I won't do it again. Show me the way. I repent. Like, I'm not sure, what's going on. Because, like, I live a pretty good life, you know. So I'm like, it kind of threw me off. Um, and like my mouth drying up. I'm like, I'm in hell. I'm like, I can't even speak to repent, and I'm sucking water off the grass, and and like dirt and everything, and I'm just so I can speak one more. Please save me, God. And it was weird because there was like this shadow, like I could see it like looming over me, and I don't know. It was weird. It was real weird. But the weird thing was, it almost looked like the devil. That was the spookiest thing. I mean, like, God's an infinite mathematical equation. God is the devil. It's the same thing. It's all one seamless object. But I was getting this impression of, like, the malicious side of God was, like, looming over to me to, like, offer me a deal. And, like, I felt my heart being like, no, I fuck with God. That's it. It's God or nothing, man. Like, fuck off. It was weird. After I felt like I got the sense that I had, apologized, whatever, enough, I walk back inside and I'm storming around the house. I'm like, man, fuck it. What am I gonna do? Fucking broke it. Like, we got no reception. We got nothing. Man, my voice is fucked up today.